a podcast that talks about music, movies, sports, and news. To know the people, promoting and sharing with the world a beautiful story. This is Frail Fragments Monster Closet. Hey, this is Frail Fragments Monster Closet, episode 93. It's a special one. We're here with none other than Stefano Amelio from the Android Meme. Good friends with us, and Frail Fragment, good friends of ours. Thanks for being on the show, Stefano. We really appreciate having you. And how are you, man? Cool. So you're just getting off work, and I mean, we made this happen. We're both very busy people. And just going back to the last Frail Fragment show on October 26th at the Atria, I thought that was my favorite show of the year. I don't think it was like the best show I've ever played, but I mean, the vibe was really cool. I mean, I was riding that wave, and then Phantom High just kicked my ass at the end. I mean, for me, they kind of stole the show. I wasn't expecting that.
It's right, because you had never seen them before, right? I'm just swapping my headphones 1 second.
Yeah. So I never saw them before, and I was impressed, man. Like, they kicked ass, and they're gonna play. I'm gonna throw out this question to you. So, the Horseshoe has a touring band coming through there Saturday, May 3rd, because I like to book it for my birthday. We're gonna hit a deal on by Friday, and we're looking at like 99% chance us playing on the 2nd, which is the Friday, with Phantom High, with the Reed Effect, and perhaps with the Android Meme if they're around. Like, these guys are up and running. Like, you guys are going to the States and shit like that. So
well, we're trying to. We're trying to, man. That's the plan. So other than playing with you guys on that date,
nice.
Our plan is to try to listen, man. You know, many years in our first iteration, years ago before our hiatus, we played a lot of Toronto, played a lot in and around the GTA, and it's just you have to expand. It's like we're victims of a really terrible city to be based out of. Probably even terrible country for that matter, with the lack of population, demographics for our style of music. If we were all living in Europe, or for sure Europe, but in some pockets of the US, we would probably be doing a lot better. We would all have a much a larger home base audience and fans from our hometown to work with. A lot of bands from Canada have to get popular or get that fire going elsewhere before they really are ever appreciated or cared for in their home country of Canada. So we're looking pretty much for just everywhere but here. And the focus, of course, on the US, because geographically it's a lot easier to get to than Europe. Yeah. But yeah, Europe and the US is pretty much where we're going to focus on for probably the next couple of years, man.
And what's the goal? What's the Android Meme goal? To spread the message of what? What is the message that you guys are transcending?
Well, we've always been about critical thinking. So that's the thing. That's why we we all have our own belief systems and our own political views, and we try to call out the bullshit everywhere. So if one person leans one way, one person leans another way, I mean, I could say we're pretty much down the center. Just trying to be common sense and logical about things. But whatever it is that we want people to approach their sphere, their life, their perception of the information that they're exposed to through especially legacy and mainstream media. And of course on the internet, whether it's social media, whatever. The message has always been just be a critical thinker, look deeper, look far below the surface, because the truth isn't always there. It's tame your emotions. Sometimes information will trigger you, and you'll get really angry, and you stop yourself, and catch yourself, be like, yo, maybe I should look a little deeper. Don't let this get the better of me emotionally. And I think if we all approached life that way, we would have a lot less conflict, division, and violence.
Yeah. Take care
but
of
also,
yourself.
Yeah, and that's the next part, right? Is the personal journey. So it's awareness. It's awareness of the information, everything around you, and also at the same time, it's the self awareness. It's working on yourself, because if you're not working on yourself as a human, and whatever inspires you to do that, whether it's faith, religion, form of spirituality, they can all be synonymous. They can all be kind of different. It could be from whatever perspective you've got. Being a good person and being a better you every single day is, and sometimes to achieve that, you have to exercise your demons, and that's why you'll notice, we cover a lot of conspiratorial stuff in our music, and the idea of spiritual awakenings, but also facing your own demons, like songs like "So Vile" in particular, where it's really about kind of exercising the demons inside you, and that will allow you to then approach life, I think, a lot better.
Be a fine-tuned instrument for the ensemble of the world around you. Our band history is kind of coincides with each other, because we started around the same time, 2005, hit the circuit, took a while off, and then kind of hit the circuit back around the same time, and we hooked up for a show at the Hard Luck. And I'm not sure what year this was at this point, a couple of years ago or a few years ago. The amount of
October 1st, 2022.
Okay, October 1st, 2022. So over 2 years ago now, and these guys have come a long fucking way, man. Like, we did a lot of shows. Their progression is very impressive, and you guys got to check these guys out, because they have a message, and they claw. Like, they're willing to play. They're willing to just go out there and put themselves out there, and they have an adversity to them that is special, and they're really, really cool people. They're contagious.
Kill them with kindness. That's our thing. We might hate you, but we're gonna be really freaking nice to you. That's right.
So the reason why I brought you here, well, just to see you again, and it's always nice to talk to you and see you.
Likewise.
And you're kind of like a musical brother, like a family member for me anyway, and that's to say the least. Like, I feel like I've known you. It's like I feel like I've known Mateus, or Mateus, and Jake the same, right? I haven't really met Victoria, but like I got to know Victoria, but like you three are really cool guys. Like, I feel like I could talk to you for a long time, and you're really interesting.
Cool.
And your camera went off again, Stefano.
I'm back.
Oh, you're back. Hey, whoa. But I found out that you were like, I think you mentioned it, or Davey Wavy, who was on the podcast earlier today, was saying that you were a Freemason.
No, I lost you. You're frozen.
Oh, yeah?
You said you had Davey on? That's awesome.
I had Davey Wavy from the Red Pill Cartel, and can you hear me?
What am I? Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah. And he was saying that you were saying in one of our conversations that you were a Freemason.
Correct.
So I had no idea what that is. So it's kind of, I wanted to have this conversation, whether it be at, somewhere quiet where I can kind of understand what it is, because I'm coming from a place of, well, I've heard secret society, there's a handshake or this or that, but as far as that, and you're not supposed to talk about it. And I mentioned it to you the last time you were on our show, and you were more than willing to talk about it, right? So I mean,
yeah, absolutely,
great. You know what I mean? What is a Freemason?
So a Freemason, especially if it's a regularly made Freemason, and that in and of itself is an interesting thing. In that Freemasonry is worldwide fraternal organization, and but each kind of country, or in this case in North America, each province or state has its own actual governing body. We call it the Grand Lodge. Okay. So that's kind of like a massive worldwide corporation, in a sense, that's loosely connected. So it's actually not really a corporation, but maybe it's like a series of a whole bunch of corporations spread out all over the world, or picture an organization of some kind, or even a religious organ, even though it's not a religion, but it operates in that you have all these it's a decentralized fraternity.
Okay.
And the only true governing body is kind of local to a particular state, or in Europe it would be in countries. But there's different offshoots. So you've got different bodies. You've got like, Freemasonry for the most part, what we call the Symbolic Lodge, the Blue Lodge in the U.S., they call that, or in the Craft Lodge in Canada and in England. That's the first 3 degrees. So that's like the pure original version of like 3 degrees. And it is a fraternity that's based on a series of levels or rituals that revolve around the biblical reference of King Solomon's temple. And it uses the metaphor and the symbolism of building King Solomon's temple as a metaphor and an allegory of building yourself, right? So we don't sell salvation. There's no, you can, as long as you believe in a higher power, you're able to be considered and be eligible. In most jurisdictions, it's 21 years old, the minimum age. Like I said, there's different offshoots, there's different versions of it throughout Europe especially, and we call those irregular. So I mentioned a regular Mason. That means that you were initiated in a jurisdiction, and the jurisdiction, let's just say here, we're in Canada. Our main jurisdiction is Ontario, so if you go to Hamilton, Ontario, just outside of Toronto, you've got the Grand Lodge of Canada in the province of Ontario. A little confusing. Oh, wow. It's called the Grand Lodge of Canada only because it was the first Grand Lodge from 1855, pre-Confederation, right?
Right.
So ultimately, we're a bunch of guys. We dress in tuxes or suits. We play dress up, and we perform these arcane rituals. No, they're not that. I know, but they're deep and symbolic, and yeah, there's like history and pop culture, and the conspiracy culture world has added so much extra weight and lore to it, and I'm a huge conspiracy guy. You can tell from our music, and I was against Freemasonry at first, and I bought into a lot of the surface level bullshit that conspiracy culture propagates. But if you look closer, you go to source material, like 90% of the things they quote as evidence, if you actually went and read those documents, if they exist, you'll find that the context is always wrong. There's always something, and it really all comes down to a lot of propaganda that was spread at the turn of the 20th century by the Vatican through a guy named Leo Taxil, who, although was kind of playing both sides, both the Catholic Church and the Freemasons in Europe, playing them both for fools, and which he later came out and admitted. And so a lot of stuff gets basically regurgitated, and unfortunately, in the conspiracy world, it's no matter what you say and evidence you provide people, for the most part, if they're not a critical thinker, like they'll call out people for being blind and being asleep and not awake to certain conspiracies, like 9/11 being an inside job, or whatever it is, and they want you to be, they claim that the average person is asleep and not a critical thinker, but when you provide them with actual evidence, say, hey, listen, I understand what you mean, I was there, but look, this is not what you think it says, and the experience that and the perception that you have of Freemasonry is based on a pile of lies with bits and bits of truth kind of mixed in. Like, there have been conspiracies. It's a massive worldwide, loosely connected organization. There are evil people with nefarious intentions who have throughout history used Freemasonry's networking abilities and the idea of it having members, especially in the past, in certain important levels of society, whether it's government, police, judicial, and these privileges of knowing these people get abused. So, there have been lodges in the UK where you had a whole bunch of bankers that were mixed in with politicians, and that there were some scandals that took place. And a lot of people got away with things and have continued throughout time to get away with certain things because they happen to be Masons or they, and then you have, it doesn't, see, Canada's different. We really don't have a lot of Freemasons in any type of major structure of government or the judiciary. Like, it's in the U.S. but mostly in Europe, it would be a little bit more of a thing. But even still, even the U.S., it's like, at one point you had, several American presidents were Freemasons. 12 out of the however many people signed the Declaration of Independence were Freemasons, and Freemasonry is what was used as a strong basis, as well as, of course, versions of Roman republicanism, to create the structure for the American Republic, right? Like, so a lot of those virtues and the landmarks of a free and open society are things that are celebrated in Freemasonry, as well as, of course, the veneration of God and the spirituality. And,
So sorry, what's celebrated? The belief in God?
the belief in God, and that, that the idea that we are servants of this realm, in a sense. And
And to be
we are, well, yeah, I mean, that's truth, right? Like, so the three principal things are brotherly love, relief, and truth. Brotherly love is that the idea of fraternal relations, of having a connection with your fellow man, right? And having a strong bond, creating a brotherhood of support. Something that men need. We find it in various areas of life. We join, beer hockey leagues. We join a soccer team. We go to the gym, and we've got our buddies at the gym. Like, we have, and this of course goes for women too, but we have these tendencies to create these tribal cultures and these forms that we want to associate ourselves with. If you're a big, football/soccer fan, you get a certain attachment to a certain team, and you want to be with the fans. It becomes a religious experience being at a game. Your team scores.
Yeah.
Right. Like, these are all powerful tropes and things. And these are also, this experience is what Freemasonry was originally meant to offer men. Yes, it was born out of stone mason guilds, who, especially out of Scotland. It spread and it became more of a philosophical, spiritual endeavor. A lot of those cathedrals that were built, they were all kind of with certain proportions and using certain architectural knowledge, which at the time was very sacred in and of itself. And Fibonacci sequences, the phi ratio, there were all these aspects to building and creation, which was, in a sense, like almost humans.
Was it a secret?
It was a secret for sure, which is why we have handshakes, passwords, whatever, because you had to protect your knowledge, right? You couldn't, if some schmuck, to use a Yiddish word, if some schmuck, kind of weaseled their way into a stonemason guild, really didn't have the skills, but, kind of found their way and somehow were able to get the passwords, who knows, they might be able to get work and titles and pay that they don't necessarily deserve. There was a sacredness to the architectural and the building knowledge that they had. I mean, they built these cathedrals with like kind of superimposing a personification, in the sense that, like, they were building temples to God, and with specific proportions, and the way the lines were laid out, and everything was done very precisely and with meaning. And a lot of these meanings are allusions and allegories to God and to whatever God could be, in a sense. Like this, the all pervasiveness, the net of being, the fact that we're all connected. So that eventually evolved when the cathedral building era kind of died out. They maintained these clubs, and they started to let in non-stonemason or non-operative masons in a sense, where aristocracy or time would have been like upper middle class, probably the bankers, of course, like I said, the aristocracy, some royalty joined as well. You had all walks of life, and for the most part, it was people with a little bit more well-to-do, because of the fact that up until the 20th century, for the most part, you did have such a vast, you had serfdom, in a sense, where you had a vast gap between the uber or even the middle class and the very poor, right? We're kind of seeing that again, like through parts of the 20th century, that gap really kind of bridged for a little while, and now, of course, where we are now, it kind of it's divided itself a lot further. But everything about Freemasonry, this is what drives me nuts about conspiracy cults, because they think it's Luciferian, right? Like, it's literally all about God, in a sense. Like, everything, we don't talk about what version of God it is. We just acknowledge that there is a supreme intelligence, a divine creator, that we all believe in. So, like, I'm sorry, but, like, if you become a 33rd degree Freemason, we can talk about that at some point in the future, those higher levels, like, you don't get, nuclear launch codes. You don't get, it's not revealed to you that Lucifer is the god of Freemasonry, because that wouldn't make any sense. Mm-hmm. If anything, a lot of the source material where Lucifer is brought up is actually, like, for instance, from Albert Pike in Morals and Dogma, which is one of the books that is so often misquoted and used inappropriately as supposed evidence. It's actually dissing Lucifer. It's really convoluted and a complicated thing. It takes a lot of time, really, to explain it. But
Stefano, explain it. Come back again and
we can do a deeper dive into it. But I'll tell you one thing, man. It's it's changed my life in a lot of ways, and for those that have joined for the right reasons, and those that practice it properly, like, not because they just want to throw a rig on their finger and they want to be a part of some freaking club. Like, if you do it properly and you apply, like anything in life that you do, and it doesn't have to be Freemasonry, you can do anything. Anything where you apply yourself to be a better human being. Like, to me, there's no endeavor that's greater than that.
Yeah, man. Well, we'll leave it there.
It's like music. It's like making music to try to help people.
Perfect segue. You got a show coming up Saturday, November 3rd, 2024 at Primal Note Studios.
Primal Note.
Cool,
that's
man.
Right.
That's with Pioneer Anomaly.
It's our last show. It's our last show of the year. Our last show till we play with you guys in May. And even then, that's going to be like a one-off show that, maybe the only ever GTA show in 2025. So, hopefully, we make it count.
Yeah, man. Well, it's going to be a killer show. I promise you that. Horseshoe delivers. But, I mean, Primal Note Studios, we were there too. We filmed a washer-dryer video.
That's right.
We found out about that place because of you, because of the Android meme. You guys have helped us so much. I appreciate it.
We've helped each other, man. You've helped us. You've invited us to play some kick-ass shows. And I think what I love about us is, like us, you guys have the same, mentality when it comes to having a deep respect for the people around you and the bands that you perform with. You're so easygoing, and there's a deep sense of sincerity and a genuine aspect to you guys, and to you in particular, my friend. So I want to also thank you for always having such respect and care for us.
Thanks, Stefano. Catch them November 23rd. They kick ass. It's down the street from my house, so if I have the day off or the night off,
come.
I'm gonna come. Like, I'm gonna bring my wife too, and just come check it out.
We're playing 2 new songs probably, so.
Hey, man. So yeah, it's
2 surprise new songs that are not released yet.
And this is their home base. They're gonna be as comfortable as fuck. This is where they hang out, man. This is their hang. It's gonna be sick.
That's our rehearsal place, yeah.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna stop by for sure. I'm gonna be there. You could check out the Android Meme at theandroidmeme.com or at theandroidmeme_official. Is that right?
Yeah, that's for TikTok and Instagram and everywhere else, like YouTube. It's just at the Android Meme. So YouTube, Twitter, yeah.
FrailFragment.com. This is the Monster Closet. We are now on Spotify, YouTube, and iTunes. So we're all caught up. Took me a while, but we're there, folks. So
nice.
Check us out in all your streaming platforms. We got video now. We're coming up. It's evolving. This thing is evolving. We're at episode 93. Doug Gilmour, my favorite hockey player. The Leafs have been disappointing since I was born.
93?
Like, yeah. That was
probably, yeah.
Felix Potvin, that era. Dave Anderchuk, Nikolai Borchevsky. Who else?
Mironov.
Yeah,
Wendell
Wendell
Clark, Kushilevsky.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even really. I guess I turn on the TV when there's a playoff game, but if it's not playoffs, man, I'm not about the Leafs. And
I can't even watch the playoffs anymore. I don't watch hockey
hard.
anymore.
It's too hard. Yeah, it's just.
I just stick to my calcio, my Italian soccer.
Yeah, man, and we got the World Cup coming. That place is going to be crazy. And speaking about Toronto getting crazy, tomorrow we got Taylor Swift coming for 6 shows in the next 2 weeks. She fucking sold out Rogers Center 6 times, bro. The whole thing. That's like a $10 million gig, bro.
Well, I don't know if she sold it out,
but
someone sold it out.
I wouldn't. The tickets are going for $1,500.
Half the time, she could have probably sold out half that on her own. So at least 3 of those, for sure.
Okay.
But the other 3 is... because what they do is a lot of times these promoters, and they have outside people kind of buy up a lot of tickets. So these things sell out super, super fast. It gives the illusion of scarcity. All those tickets end up on StubHub and whatever, and they're greasing wheels all over the place. And everyone, like especially Live Nation, Ticketmaster, they're getting their cut, and everyone looks good. So unless there's but most shows are like that quite often.
And talk about the secret societies or whatever it is. Like,
they're
changing the names of the fucking streets for this chick, man. I don't know.
Are they really here?
Yeah, they are.
Here?
Yeah. Dude, they're...
In Toronto.
Yeah, they're rerouting... Toronto. They're rerouting fucking... There's no construction. There's nothing. Like, for 6... This girl is running Toronto. I didn't even know she was that big, man. I'm looking at tickets.
She's huge. That's yeah. I mean, she's massive. But is she curing cancer?
No, I mean.
Why are we naming streets after her?
Yeah, this is the rabbit hole we could go down. Why are we naming streets after her?
Not another show.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
So let's pause there. But thanks so much for being on the show, Stefano. Hang back a sec once this show ends, just so we have all the info uploaded. But yeah, again, thank you, brother. You're the best, man. You rock.
Peace, no worries, guys. Man. Thank you so much for having me. You're
Episode 93, Wednesday, November 13th.
Perfect number, 93.
And we'll see you soon. Peace.
Peace.